Right, a quick look at this question. Find the value of x to the power of minus a half. And the next part, where I've got a fraction to the power of 2/3, tells me that we're dealing here with powers or indices, depending on how you want to refer to them. Now, I'm not going to write down all the laws of indices or the power laws, but I will write down the ones we need as we do them. So, the value of 81 to the minus a half. Let's deal with that minus sign first. I hope you remember that if you have a to the power of minus p, that is just 1 over a to the p. It's a very simple law, but people do get confused about it. The minus sign in the power means 1 over, or if you like, the reciprocal of. Okay, there's no negativity involved here, it is 1 over. So the first thing I can do here is write down that this is 1 over 81 to the power of a half. And now all we need to do is know what to the power of a half means. Well, there is a rule that tells me that the square root of a is a to the half. Okay, and these are the two rules that I need to know for this question. If you want to think about why the square root of a is equal to a to the half, think about multiplying it by itself. Square root of a times the square root of a is a, and a to the half times a to the half, add the powers, is a to the 1. Anyway, that's a bit of theory. So this is 1 over the square root of 81, and you should know the square root of 81 is 9. And so 81 to the minus a half is a 9th. Now, what about this second one? Well, when we're dealing with fractions, we really want to separate the fractions out. And you should remember that a to the power of p to the power of q is a to the p times q. And we're going to use that rule sort of backwards, as it were. Okay, and that we're going to separate out this 2/3 in the power to be, well, let's call it a third times 2. And now you see that we've got the power of p times q, and we can split it up like that. Make it to the power of p to the power of q. So let's do 64 over 120, not 112, where did that come from? Try again, 64 over 125 to the power of a third, all to the power of 2. Now what does to the power of a third mean? Well, just have a quick look back up here. The square root is to the power of a half, and in fact the cube root is to the power of a third. That's the same thing as taking the square. The cube root is raising it to the power of a third, and I hope you know your cubes. Okay, you should remember these. 1 cubed is obviously 1, but 2 cubed is 8, 3 cubed is 27, 4 cubed is 64, 5 cubed is 125. And so we can see the two we need here are 4 cubed and 5 cubed. And if we take the cube root of 64, we get 4, and the cube root of 125 is 5. And so we've dealt with the power of a third, and we've just got the squared left. So we've used those two things to get to here. Missing a few equal signs here. Let's put some equal signs in. And now we just have to square the top and square the bottom. And 4 squared is 16, and 5 squared is 25. So we get 16 25ths. And that is that.